guys, it's Sarah and I'm here to do the Unpopular Opinions book tag. This is a book tag that was created by the Book Archer, and I will have her original video down below if you want to go check it out. Just about everyone that I subscribe to has done this tag, and it's one of my favorites to watch, so I figured I'd go ahead and make one myself. So let me start off by saying this is called the Unpopular Opinions because some of my opinions are probably not going to be popular. So if I talk about a book that's one of your favorites and I maybe didn't like it, please know that I'm not trying to offend anybody or speak ill of anything. These are just my personal opinions. Question 1 is a popular book or book series that everyone else seems to love but you didn't like. So for this one, I have a single book, and it is Eat, Pray, Love by Elizabeth Gilbert. And I kind of hated this book. I actually really I hated it. I tried really hard to like it because everyone else loved it so much. And I was like, what am I missing? I should be loving this book too. And I tried really hard. I even went and saw the movie and I hated the movie too. I don't know. I actually ended up reading this book for book club close to when it first came out. And I DNF'd it. I didn't even finish it because I was just, ugh. And then I went back a few years later and tried to read it again, because the movie was coming out, and I was like, well, the movie kind of looks a little bit good. Maybe it's better than the book. So maybe I'll give the book another try, actually read it through the whole way, and then see the movie, and I still hated it. So part of it for me was that I feel like she was kind of making herself out to be more of a victim than she actually was. I'm about to spoil the end, so if you have not read this, fast forward a little bit. But one thing that bothered me is that she went off on this journey for a year, which I understand. I'm not upset that she was doing that. I understand that completely. But she made this promise to herself that she would be celibate for a year because part of her problem was she had a lot of issues with men and, choosing the wrong men and things like that. And then 2 months before her year was up, she broke that, and it really bothered me. I was like, you are so close to being done. You're always down on yourself about not reaching your goals, and you're doing it again. Granted, they got married, but still, I don't know. That bothered me. The one part about this book that I did like was when she was in Italy, because Italy is kind of the one place that I want to go. That's kind of my dream travel place. So that part of it I did enjoy, but the rest of it, I don't know. I couldn't. Question number 2 is a popular book or series that everyone else seems to hate, but you love it. So this one for me is 50 Shades of Grey. So the writing is terrible. There's absolutely 100% no excuse for how bad the writing was. I understand that. For me, what kept me going in this series is the storyline and the characters. I really loved all of them. I thought it got better in the second and third books. So, I don't know, but something about it, I was just addicted to it. I think I read all 3 books within a week, and that's really, really fast for me. So, yeah, just the storyline, and I always wanted to see what was happening, and I don't know, it just kept me going. Obviously, there's some very steamy sex scenes in it as well, so that did not hurt. But yes, so the writing, terrible. But as far as how much I enjoyed reading the story and the characters and all that, yeah, I don't know. I loved it. Okay, question number 3 is a love triangle where the main character ends up with someone that you didn't want them to end up with. And I don't have a good answer for this one. I have maybe a kind of answer, but I don't even still know. So I don't think I'm ruining this for anybody because I don't think anyone knows yet. But I'm going to say Throne of Glass. And the reason is because, okay, so Selena is in a love triangle between Dorian and Kale in this one. But I don't even know who she chooses because I'm only 2 books into the series and there's 4 books out now. So, I don't know. I know in this one, things start to kind of go good with Dorian, but then they back off, and then things start to kind of happen with Kale a little bit, not even very much in this one. So, I don't know, but I know that I am Team Dorian all the way, mainly probably because I want to be on Team Dorian, but yeah, so I'm going to say this one because I want her to be with Dorian, but I don't know if that's even happening. And I still have 2 more books to read, so I don't even know if anyone knows who she's going to end up with, if she even ends up with anybody. Horror is a popular genre that you hardly reach for. And I think for this one, I'm going to say historical fiction. I have read historical fiction before. It's just something that's a little bit harder for me to get into. Mainly, I think just because the time periods are so different, and sometimes I can get a little bit bored with them. But I have read a few good historical fictions that I've enjoyed. So it may be something that I start to maybe reach for a little bit more often if I can find a really good one that'll suck me in. But yeah, that's probably it. Okay, question 5 is a popular or beloved character that you did not like. Bella Swan. And I should like her because she has my same last name. It's spelled different. I have 2 N's, she has 1. But seriously, like, I don't know. I didn't love her in the books anyway. And then when Kristen Stewart was playing her in the movies, it made it worse because I don't like Kristen Stewart either. So yeah, I don't know. I thought she was whiny, and it really bothered me in New Moon when Edward left and she, you know, sat there and was like in a coma for 2 months. I'm like, come on, get over yourself. Anyway, so yeah, Bella Swan. I really just, bleh. 6 is a popular author you can't seem to get into. And for this one, I'm going to say John Green, only because I read one book by him, which was The Fault in Our Stars, and I actually loved it. I really did love that book. But I'm hesitating to pick anything else up because I feel like all of his books are centered around people in high school, which is fine. I enjoy that every so often. I just don't feel like I'm going to relate to it very much. And I almost feel like things are going to all start sounding the same, especially because I'm seeing all the movies come out and I'm just like, it's kind of the same thing. So I don't know. He's one that I probably should try to read more of him just to see if I enjoy his other books besides The Fault in Our Stars. But I don't know. I'm hesitating. Question 7 is a popular book trope that you're tired of seeing. And for this one, I don't know, because a lot of people say love triangles. I don't mind love triangles as long as they're done well. But for this one, I'm going to go more of a genre type thing. So one thing that I'm kind of getting a little bit over is dystopian. Because I feel like a lot of popular stuff is dystopian and, you know, corrupt governments and all that. And I enjoy that every so often. But when a lot of the big popular books are all dystopian, I'm kind of like, okay, I want something different. So I'm probably going to save that one, although I do have quite a few dystopian series on my TBR that I would like to read. So I might just need to get over that. 8 is a popular book or book series that you have no interest in reading. And for this one, I'm going to go with The Fifth Wave by Rick Yancey. I don't know what it's about. I'm hearing bad things about the books, but good things about the movies. So I don't know. I would never reach for it, I guess. And then another one that I actually did try to read and I put it down before I was halfway through because I just couldn't do it, was the House of Night series by PC and Kristen Cast, I think. It's a mother-daughter team, and they wrote the House of Night vampire book series. And I tried to do that because, especially after Twilight, I was kind of all hyped up on vampires, and I want to read all the vampire books. And then I picked that one up, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is so high school, I can't take it. So, yeah, I just didn't enjoy it, so I put it down. So I will not, I have no interest in reading that. But, yep. Okay, the last question is, the saying goes, the book is always better than the movie. Which movie or TV show adaptation did you prefer to the books? So this one's interesting because I have a few. I was actually surprised at how many I was able to come up with. So I'll start with TV shows first. There's 2 TV show adaptations that I enjoyed better than the books. First one being Dexter. Dexter is one of my favorite TV shows. I love that show so much, like to the point where I would watch the entire series again. And I did read the books. I read the books as well. I did watch the show first, so that might have been kind of why I enjoyed the show first, because I was comparing the books to the show instead of vice versa. But the books were good. I actually really did enjoy the books. I still have to read the last one, but they were different though. So the storylines in the books, like the premise is the same. Obviously, it's Dexter. He's a serial killer. He works in the Miami Police Department, all that stuff. But some of the characters follow different paths. And, some die in the show and they don't die in the books, or some die in the books and they don't die in the show. So it's like, it was kind of interesting comparing the two. Overall, I did prefer the show, especially season 4 with the Trinity Killer. Oh my gosh. Um, so I enjoyed the show mainly because, number one, Michael C. Hall. And number two, I like the storylines better in the show than I did in the books. So the storylines are different. So like kind of who he's hunting and, you know, people who are hunting him and stuff, it's actually different than the show. So I just kind of prefer the show ones a little bit more. But yeah, so that's my first one. Second one is Outlander, kind of. This is another one where I watched the show first. I'm currently listening to the audiobook of the first one. I don't know. I feel like the book is really good. Don't get me wrong. Even if I read the book first, I'm really, really enjoying the book. But this show is so, you get so much, you know, the visual obviously is so beautiful, and the, you know, the scenery in Scotland, and and Jamie and Jamie and Jamie. I also have 2 movie adaptations that I didn't necessarily prefer to the books, but I think that these movie adaptations held up to the books really well. They were done really well, and I enjoyed them almost as much as the books. So it's like, so yeah. First one being The Help by Catherine Stockett. The book was amazing, and the movie was amazing. Just the acting in this movie was stunning. It really, really was. I really, really, really enjoyed both of these. I thought that the movie followed the book very well and complemented it really well, and just, it was awesome. The second one being one of my favorite books of all time, which is Water for Elephants by Sarah Gruen. This was a great movie because, again, it followed the book really well, and visually it was just stunning. Just, you know, being in that circus time, you know, during this time period, and the costumes, and it was beautifully done. And I really liked it as well. And the last one is probably the biggest one, where I loved the movie. It's actually one of my favorite movies that I've seen multiple times, and I know I'll watch it again. And I hated the book. Like, I hated the book so much. Ooh, and that is Julie and Julia by Julie Powell. The reason I hated the book is because I was reading it, and I got about a little more than a quarter of the way through it, and she spent almost 2 chapters saying nothing but bad things about Republicans. And I was like, okay, this is not what this book is supposed to be about. So I didn't feel like it was relevant to the story, and I don't know. Unless I'm going to go and buy a book that is about politics and is about one side of politics or the other, that's what you should expect. But I didn't expect it in this one, and I was really disappointed in it, because I feel like if you're going to write a book about your journey, I don't think it should be about your political views. You know what I mean? Because her political views had nothing to do with cooking. So I felt it was kind of a cheap shot, and it really made me angry, actually, because I was just like, you know your audience, and know that if you want to write a book where you're going to please Democrats and upset Republicans, then write a book about that. Don't write a book and then just kind of throw that in there too. I thought it was kind of not necessary. So I got really angry about it, and I put it down. I did not finish that book, and I will never pick it up again. However, the movie is amazing. I love the movie. It's like one of my favorite movies of all time. Like I said, I will watch it again. So that was really interesting. And there was nothing about politics in there. There was one line in it, like saying that a Republican would have fired her, and that was it. And like, okay. So I don't know. I thought it was really strange that they were so different, and I don't know. I guess I just didn't understand why that was in the book, because I just really, again, don't feel like it was necessary. Okay, that's it for me. So that is my Unpopular Opinions book tag. So let me know if you guys agree or disagree with me on anything. I'm open for discussion. I was surprised when I watched other people's video how much I actually agreed with some of what they said, so that was interesting. And then, obviously I disagreed with some of them as well. But yeah, so let me know what you guys think.